Welcome to the Global Gaming Business Podcast, the industry's first and longest running podcast, now in our 18th year. I'm Frank Legato, editor of Global Gaming Business, and today our guest is Noah Akers of Akers Manufacturing. This week's podcast is sponsored by IGT. Learn more about IGT's new multi-level progressive slot Mystery of the Lamp at igt.com/Mystery of the Lamp. Noah Akers has been involved in developing technology for gaming and other industries for more than 20 years, as well as marketing and gaming operations. He was vice president of gaming and marketing for the Riviera in Las Vegas when he began working with his father, gaming pioneer of systems, John Akers, and he is now principal of Akers Manufacturing, helping to develop technology that is changing the way casino operators do business. Welcome to our podcast. Thank you for being on today, Noah.
Hey, thanks for having me, Frank. I love the podcast and excited to be on.
Okay, well, Akers technology is redefining casino operations in many respects, but your cashless casino module is growing fast, installed in more than 30,000 games right now. How do you feel about the overall adoption of cashless and how it's progressing?
Well, I think the growth of cashless has been, slow and steady. I hear a lot of mixed reviews, people saying that this is new technology, it's taken over the industry, and I hear other people saying that it's going a little bit slower than expected. But in my opinion, I think that we are on the cusp of exponential growth in cashless because a lot of the tender's already been laid. So we're already approved in 10 or 11 states with more coming online. And I think that if you go back pre-COVID, cashless gaming in a lot of jurisdictions was off the table. And so we see in 2 or 3 years, as you know, Frank, gaming regulators are very slow to move sometimes. So in 2 to 3 years, they've made a complete 180 in a lot of cases. So we're now active in 10 or 11 states with our solution. We're expanding to our first Native American tribe casino this summer, Rolling Hills Casino up in the Sacramento, California area. And we see a lot of commercial gaming operators and tribal gaming operators just planning for a cashless future. One thing I would say about cashless is just that if you step back and look at the whole point of it, cashless gets casinos access to more players and more money. 70% of transactions are non-cash in the wider consumer economy, and casinos just cannot afford to become or stay cash-only businesses because it's literally turning customers away. Today, people don't carry much cash, and fewer people even carry physical payment cards because everybody's paying on their phone all the time. Mm-hmm. And so that trend is going to continue. And so casinos, to stay relevant, have to have a cashless option. And so my opinion is that virtually every casino is going to have a cashless option within the next 2, 3, or 4 years.
Now, you published a white paper on cashless, pointing out the differences between your technology and legacy systems out there. Can you tell us the main points of that difference?
Yeah, so in our solution, which we call cashless casino, the casino is never in possession of player deposits, and that's a really big differentiator. All the other systems use what's called a cashless wagering account to store player deposits. We think that this challenges casinos because now they have to manage and secure cashless wagering account balances for all their players. Any fraud or dispute now has to be handled by the casino, and all the deposits are going to become a liability on the casino's balance sheet. And that's something that they're not doing today. Like, casinos aren't managing player deposits, and except for a few like edge conditions when they're taking a front money deposit from a VIP player. But when we go to cashless and you have a cashless wagering account, now the casino is going to be basically in charge of managing that entire deposit amount. And if cashless takes off, that could be many, many millions of dollars. And I don't think that casinos want that burden. So that's the main point of distinction. I think another point of distinction is that cashless casino can send a variety of values to the game. So we send everything to the credit meter, but some of those credits can be cashable credits. They can be free play. They can be casino credit systems like MarketTrax, and we can tell the difference. And what that allows us to do is to kind of give a player this holistic experience in the mobile app, so that all the bonusing, all the free play and loyalty is there alongside the cashless solution. And I think that until you get that really great mobile app experience, you're not going to see cashless really take off to its full potential.
Now, to your point, cashless comes in many forms. You recently introduced TiVo, ticket in, bonus out. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so TiVo bonuses players from the ticket printer, which is pretty cool. So Today, when you go into a casino and use the old school Tito system, the only thing that happens as far as the ticket printer goes is if you push the physical cash out button, a cash out voucher comes. We can command the ticket printer outside of the slot machine. So our real-time data interface tells the ticket printer, hey, print this bonus ticket for a player for this reason, and here's the amount. And so, like, here's an example. We have this super lucky bonus free play for $100, and this would pop out of the ticket printer, and the player could stick it right back in the machine and get $100 of free play. And so that just, if you step back and consider, there's a ticket printer on dang near every slot machine that's out there, and we can use the ticket printers as a really great way to communicate with players and do something that's really never been done in the industry before, which is send them real-time offers and incentives.
And it seems to me that that would have a broader appeal, even with older players who are very, very familiar with tickets and ticket in and ticket out, and maybe not so familiar with the newer technologies.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that everybody, understands Tebow or Tito, and they value the ticket, and they're tangible items of value they can hold. And so now when it becomes a bonus, you just take it right out. It's going to be meaningful to the players. And so you're absolutely right, Frank. People that maybe aren't ready to download an app and do all the remote funding and stuff like that, they can still benefit from new technology by, getting these ticket bonuses printed.
This podcast is sponsored by IGT, featuring its new multi-level progressive Mystery of the Lamp. Initial test bank numbers show strong performance, and it's no mystery why players love these enchanting MLPs. Mystery of the Lamp includes a persistence feature that builds anticipation and bonuses that can be combined for massive awards. Available exclusively on the all-new Peak Curve 49, this is a combination designed to give your floor a higher ceiling. Learn more at igt.com/mystery of the lamp.
Now I'd like to talk about another new product of yours called the Video Poker Analyzer. Now, as I understand it, it uses data drawn from every hand of video poker to gauge player value and minimize advantage play. How is that doing on the market, and how are operators using it so far?
Yeah, so it's doing really well. We call it VPA, Video Poker Analyzer. We've had VPA going in a couple test casinos since early this year, and just in the past couple of weeks, we signed contracts with 5 additional casinos. So we're going to be rolling out VPA fairly widely in the near future, and most of that's going to be here in Nevada because that's the biggest video poker market. But the core issue is that marketing to video poker players becomes difficult because some players are very sharp, like they're smart guys and they know how to exploit a mathematical edge on the casino. And when there's like a million different raise your hand, right? When there's like a million different pay tables, it's difficult for the operator to kind of manage all the pay tables and the denoms and stuff like that. So what we do is we grade every player's decision in real time, and we give you a summary of the player. We produce what's called a mistake bank that takes all the players' mistake values and sums it up. And so if you're an advantage player, you have like a $0 mistake bank balance. But if you're a high margin player, you could have hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how frequently you play and how big you play. And so what casinos can do is, first of all, they can stop marketing to these advantage players, and they can increase the marketing offers to the high margin players, which are really the players that are going to move the needle. And right now, I think that there are a lot of high margin players, but the casinos, because they can't identify who's who, they can't target the marketing, and we're going to give them ability to do so.
And this doesn't leave out your advantage players either. It just notifies the casino as far as what to offer and what kind of promotions to offer each player.
Exactly. So if you have a guy that can play, if you have a guy that can play video poker near even on the base game, you don't want to be giving him extra free play to take extra shots at you. And so this is just a thing to say, hey, so-and-so is an advantage player. He's made 8 mistakes on 18,000 hands. Don't give him any extra free play because he's not worth it, right? So that's the whole idea.
Makes a lot of sense. Now the foundation system, your overall casino management system, it's been groundbreaking in how it's used data to maximize player value. Tell us about Foundation XQ, which, as I understand, is the next generation of the system.
Yeah, so Foundation HQ is our CMS platform. So it works on our hardware. Our hardware is called Foundation, and then Foundation HQ was kind of the management system that we're building. And so there's a ton of functionalities that are going to be built in there. The first thing I would say is just it's the first system that's built in the kind of big data and mobile era versus what's on the market today is all stuff from the desktop era that's kind of like designed for snail mail and after the fact marketing. And so one big announcement that we're going to be making over the summer is, I'll just tease this right now. We can use Foundation HQ to process any jackpot in 4 minutes or less, right? And that's going to be groundbreaking for the industry. And we'll do it in a way that involves employees and helps them actually increase their tips. So it's not going to be like we're bypassing the employee and cutting out their tips. No, we're going to involve the employee. We're going to increase their tips, and we're going to process jackpots, any jackpots, incredibly fast. And so jackpot processing is something that I think frustrates casinos and players alike, because it often shuts down games for like 15, 20 minutes at a time while they, run to the cage, get your money in, your paperwork and all that kind of stuff. And so we've just developed a process that makes it faster and more informative and even funner for everybody involved. So that's the main thing we have coming out on Foundation HQ over the summer. One thing I would say about Foundation HQ beyond that is just, going back to Tebow and the video poker analyzer, we're showing how we're doing data analytics and we're doing bonusing to a level of precision that I think is unprecedented in the gaming industry. Mm-hmm. And so when you take Foundation HQ, we're going to blend these concepts together, right? And so just imagine when video poker analyzers is monitoring that mistake bank, right? And maybe it's going to produce, maybe Tebow is going to produce an automatic ticket for you that's your reinvestment in real time. And so these are the kind of things where we're going to allow the casino to completely automate with a high level of precision and an enormous amount of data. We're going to allow them to automate their operational decisions and their marketing decisions, and they're going to profit greatly as a result of that.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see my own mistake report. I really would. I'd love to get.
All right. Well, let me know next time you play. I'll see if I can run it for you.
Okay. Well, listen. Congratulations on all your innovation. You're really changing the way operators work, and the casino business gives promotions and serves its players. So, thank you for being on the podcast today, Noah.
Thank you very much, Frank. Looking forward to seeing you again.
Okay. Take care.
Hope you enjoyed this week's podcast, sponsored by IGT. To learn more about the topic we just discussed, visit ggbmagazine.com. Subscribe to GGB News to get all the news of the gaming industry delivered to your desktop every Monday morning. Sign up at ggbnews.com and use the coupon code GGB180 for a free subscription. Don't miss a single episode of the podcast. Subscribe on Amazon, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify today. So we'll see you next time on the GGB Podcast.